It starts with this guy, Chuck, and he is completely obsessed with time. Like, it's his whole deal. He works for this big courier company, and he's always flying around the world, basically yelling at people to get their packages delivered faster. All his coworkers know he's a big deal and super serious about his job. Anyway, he's got this girlfriend, Kelly, and they're super in love. They totally want to get married, but his crazy work schedule is always getting in the way. So it's Christmas time, and of course, he gets a call. He has to go on a business trip to Malaysia. Total bummer. Kelly's pretty sad, and she's like, what am I even going to do for Christmas by myself? But he promises. He swears he'll be back for New Year's Day. So she's like, okay, fine. Before he leaves, they exchange presents. And get this, she gives him this really cool pocket watch with her photo inside. He loves it. So he gets on the company plane, which is this private jet with just a few other people on it, and then bam! A massive storm just pops up out of nowhere. The plane is shaking like crazy, it's a total disaster, and it crashes right down into the Pacific Ocean. Next thing you know, Chuck wakes up, and he's the only one left. Surprise! He's floating in this little life raft, and the water just pushes him until he washes up on this deserted island. He's completely alone. He's freaking out, obviously. He's shouting for help, but there's nobody there. So he writes this huge help message in the sand, thinking a plane will see it. But then the next morning he wakes up, and the tide has washed it all away. You'd think people would learn. So he tries again, this time carving it into some wood, thinking for sure someone will spot it. But now he's getting super hungry. He finds some of the packages from the plane that washed ashore, but there's no food. Then he hears this thudding sound and sees a coconut fell from a tree. He thinks, great, food. But he can't get the thing open to drink the milk. He's just surviving on a little bit he can get out. So 3 days go by, and to make everything worse, his foot is super messed up and injured from all the rocks in the water.
Is a total
Things
mess,
are looking
right?
really
He's
bad for this
barefoot,
guy.
so he rips up his pants and wraps a piece around his foot like a makeshift shoe. Smart. Then he sees this huge mountain, and he's like, I got to get to the top to see what's out there. And somehow, he actually makes it. He gets up there and looks around, and that's when he sees something floating in the water. He climbs back down, and get this. It's the dead pilot from the plane. He's super bummed out, so he gives the guy a proper burial. But first, he takes his shoes and his flashlight. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. So now he's just trying to live. He's drinking dew off leaves, which is pretty gross. He tries to catch fish, but he's terrible at it. He's basically just living on coconuts. Then one night, he sees a ship. He's going nuts, totally freaking out with excitement. He grabs the flashlight and starts signaling like a madman, but it's no use. They don't see him. Total disaster. So he's like, okay, that's it. I'm leaving. He tries to escape on that little raft, but the waves are insane and they just crush him, messing up his leg even more. He crawls back to the beach, totally defeated, and it starts pouring rain. He finds this cave and hides out for the night, but he leaves the flashlight on the whole time, and then poof, the battery dies. Now he has no light and no idea how to make fire. He's desperate, so he goes back to those packages. He finds a pair of ice skates, which seems useless, right? But then he realizes the blade is super sharp. He uses it to bust open a coconut. It's a game changer. Now he can cut stuff. He makes a spear and finally catches a fish, but he can't eat it raw. He tries rubbing sticks together like you see in movies, and after trying forever and getting his hand all bloody, he actually does it. He makes fire. It's like the biggest deal ever. He's so happy. He's practically dancing on the beach. And then in another box, he finds a volleyball. He had cut his hand trying to make the fire, and he accidentally puts a bloody handprint on it, and he just stares at it. And then he draws a face on the ball. And just like that, he has a friend. He names him Wilson. He starts talking to him and everything, setting him by the fire to dry. But then, oh man, his tooth starts killing him. It's this chronic pain he's had forever. He knows he has to pull it out himself. So he takes the ice skate blade, that thing is so useful, and a rock, and he just knocks his own tooth out. It's brutal. He just faints right there. Okay, so then, boom, 4 years pass. Just like that. He looks completely different, super skinny with this crazy beard and long hair, but now he's a total pro at surviving. He can spear a fish from like a mile away, and he and Wilson are best friends. They talk all the time. One day, this big weird piece of a porta potty wall washes up on shore, and a light bulb goes off in his head. He's like, I can use this as a sail. He can finally build a real raft and get out of there. He knows the waves are the biggest problem, so he starts building this huge raft out of logs, and he uses that big sheet as a sail or maybe a shield. It's a ton of work, but he's decided he's going to wait for the perfect weather, and then he's making a run
that big metal sheet on the front of his new raft. He figures he can use it to sail or cut through the waves or something. He puts Wilson in the raft with him, and off he goes right into the open ocean. He's hitting these gigantic waves. It is seriously rough out there, but his raft holds together. He has no idea which way to go. He's just hoping he hits land eventually. And he's smart too. He's saved up fish for food, and he's been collecting rainwater and coconut shells so he doesn't die of thirst. But then, total disaster. A huge wave hits, and Wilson falls into the water. Chuck sees him floating away, and he's just screaming. He jumps into the ocean and tries to swim to him, but the raft is drifting away, and Wilson is getting further and further. He can't get to him. He has to climb back on the raft all alone, and he just completely loses it. He's sobbing his eyes out. I mean, that was his only friend for 4 years. It wasn't just a volleyball to him, you know? He is completely heartbroken. So now he's just drifting, totally exhausted and alone. And then, out of nowhere, this massive cargo ship appears. The sailors see his little raft, and they save him. Can you believe it? He's rescued. So he finally gets back to civilization, but everything is messed up. Everyone thought he was dead for years. And get this, Kelly moved on. She's married now. She even has a daughter. He goes to see her, and the second she opens the door, they just have this huge emotional hug. But then her husband and kid are right there, so it's all just really sad and awkward. Their big love story is over. They missed their chance. He gives her back the pocket watch she gave him, tells her it's her family's and she should have it. But he sneakily keeps the little photo of her that was inside. She's crying and is like, "You promised you'd come back." And he's just like, "I'm so sorry." You can totally see they're still in love, but she has a family now. She can't just leave them. She gives him the keys to his old car, which she kept all this time. He starts to leave, and she runs out after him into the pouring rain, and they have this one last, super sad hug. She tells him she always knew he was alive, but everyone pressured her to get married. He ends up driving her home, and he tells her he's not going to be the guy who wrecks her marriage. He just lets her go. Later, he's talking to his friend, and he spills the beans on something huge. He says that back on the island, he actually tried to commit suicide once, but the rope broke. He says the only reason he kept fighting to live was the thought of getting back to her. And after all that, he lost her anyway. So messed up. So now he's totally alone, trying to figure out what to do with his life. But there's one more thing. He still has one of those unopened courier packages from the island, the one with the angel wings drawn on it. He never, ever opened it. So he decides to deliver it. He drives out to this ranch in Texas, but nobody's home, so he leaves the package on the porch with a note he wrote. The note just says, "This package saved my life." So cool. Then the movie ends with him standing at a literal crossroads, looking at a map like he has no idea where to go next. And this woman in a pickup truck pulls over to give him directions. And get this, her truck has the exact same angel wing logo as the package. Surprise! He watches her drive off, and she turns into the very same ranch where he just left the package. You realize it's her. And he just stands there in the middle of the road and gets this tiny little smile on his face. It's like, maybe this is where his life starts again. And that's how it ends.